Okay, I figured it was about time to do a recap video for all those coming in late on this. I'm going to get rid of these here, throwing me off. But those coming in late to this psychodrama, let's go over the particulars. So, I'm assuming I'm go totally recap. Our story begins with a young lady named Indigo White, who very successful amateur porn artist. But yeah, she built up quite a career here of her own, doing stuff she loves to do. It's fun. It's a creative outlet, and making plenty of friends. Because she's been very open about her own mental issues and why, but being groomed as a preteen, by some guy getting raped and alluding to other. I haven't heard particularly about the other thing, but apparently she's getting groomed twice and raped, other times. So but very open about it, and her struggles to deal with all this stuff and really getting her life back. And one of them, big one, is like all she really wanted, because she'd been in at this point therapy for nonstop for few years at this point. And all she wanted to do was get back to where she was before this whole shit show started. And apparently, therapy wasn't really doing that. All they do is make you constantly question yourself. I said, don't want to know. Just want to get back to where she was. But years go on, and again, she's building up quite a fan base. Unfortunately, it's other people who also have issues, which she helps a lot of people by talking to them and making a connection, making friends, and getting people to talk about the things and helping her, talking them through it. But unfortunately, this also brings in predators who exploit these type of things, and that's where we're at here. Because go back about 6-7 months or so, and we start seeing a change in Indy's behavior and demeanor, and as these guys start working their magic and really start hitting the tip jar for certain things they want to see her do, more femboy content, because you alluded to it a bit in a couple of videos where it's where she's just essentially playing a boy in her cosplays. First one I note really was titled "Bros Helping Bros," where she apparently is playing a guy walking in on a friend attempting a dick pic, and she does basically a little demo of how to do a proper dick pic. And it with doing a blowjob, and that's where the whole joke is. It's not gay. I got my socks on. And that apparently has a bit of an opening for more femboy stuff. It makes her a good-looking boy. It's and start inching further and further. And also, whereas before she'd one quick hit of the bong and that's it. Now it's constantly, just because part of the options for the tip levels, it's $42. Take a hit with a bong, right from the $4.20. And that bong is always it's constantly there, and the water is always dirty because he's using it so damn much. But it starts, they're getting more of this femboy content, and then finally, and urging her to cut her hair, because she had long hair. It was down to her waist at one point, and she'd always had very long hair. Occasionally it was chopped down to collar length, or shoulder length. But usually it's very long hair, and she liked having long, apparently. But I also know, because it can be a pain in the butt after a while, having a real, but occasionally you got to chop it back, and you'll manage it. But they had to chop, you got urged to chop back, now sort of a Justin Bieber type thing. Bangs right down about there, most part, but it's nope. And it's typical grooming type thing, where you start, moving the comfort belt just a little bit more. Then it'll be much easier to have to deal with all that hair under a wig. Just stropping hair, and you're doing wigs anyway. So and life gets a little easier. We'll do it this short hair, just keep it short. And you're already doing femboy, doing androgynous femboy stuff. So yeah, this dude, really start pushing the femboy stuff, and then eventually gets to the point, where again she's addled with the constant THC levels and everything, and all the praise and the thing. You make you the good boy. I bet you really are a boy. Really, you're trans, because it's a whole current cultural climate of trans activism, where you can no longer be a boy who likes feminine stuff or a girl who likes masculine stuff. No, that means you're really a boy. You're really a girl. You're trapped in the wrong body. That used to be a bit of a joke back in the day, okay, with the genuine transsexuals. They said that's how they felt. They were, trapped in the wrong body. But they didn't actually mean it, okay? They knew this was not, but they knew it was a mental thing they're having to deal with. And in extreme cases, they had to go to surgery to learn to live with themselves. But also, that wasn't universal in either, because not everyone is a candidate for that type of surgery for whatever reason. So some of them just have to live as transvestites, whatever. But that has been co-opted by a certain activist class who couldn't sit still with the fact that gay rights, up into including gay marriage, had become the law of the land, and most of the people, okay, well, job done. Now we can go back to living our lives and being treated like normal. They couldn't have that. So they moved on to, well, we got to find some other claim. Trans, yeah, no one's wanting the trans stuff because there's not enough trans people to fill a football stadium. But we'll make them, we'll expand the definition. And we had some idiot scientists, so-called, who are advancing the little theories that, no, gender is just a cultural construct. It's all made up. No, but, which is bullshit. Okay, in fact, I'll keep going back to John Money, his experiments on the two Reimer twins. The actual scientific results, looked at it, properly, proves the exact opposite of his theory. These theories. No, chopping off this kid's, what was left of it, it was a botched circumcision. Chopping off what was left of it, turned into a neo-vagina type thing, and raised him as a girl, didn't change a damn thing. He still insisted on peeing standing up. He didn't want to play with the Barbie. He hated the dresses. He beat up other kids. He was known as the cave woman by his schoolmates, okay? It proved the exact opposite. Biology will overrule everything, okay? You are what you are, okay? And by the time he's like, when it gets wind that this guy is going to talk me again, the little John and Jane Doe, and monikers, but like, hey, he's talking about me. That's bullshit. That's not what happened. And he starts, an adult, and the experiments were horrific. It was flat out child abuse in front of an audience. He would take pictures. He'd have other colleagues come in and watch these two twin boys molesting each other, going at like taking pictures, taking notes. Oh yeah, and traumatize both of these kids for life. Okay, we both end up dying of suicide. But before that, he was making the talk show where he would go on Oprah and tell me, no, that's not what happened. It was not a raving success. It was a complete failure. He destroyed both of our lives. And when the kid, they was pushing, when he started hitting like 12, 13, the puberty starts hitting. Okay, time to go for more surgery and start taking hormones. And by this point, the kid was already starting to rebel. It's like, no, we're not doing this. And they brought in a trans, male to female, to try and assure, it'll be fine. You'll finally feel like yourself. The kid ran to the roof of the building, threatened to throw himself off. You even came near him. And at that point, the parents said, "Oh yeah, that's it. You're done. You are done messing with my kid." And then it's like, and that's when basically the dad took little Brenda out for ice cream, explained the whole thing. And that's a case of like the final piece finally hit in here. Okay, great. So there's one last bit of surgery to, again, the phalloplasty and thing to make at least I got something. Okay, right? It didn't work, but at least you feel you got something there. And then changed the name to David. Eventually got married, and and seemed to be doing okay for a while, all things considered. She had kids from her previous marriage. He adopted them. So, he had a chance at a life, but eventually he ended up going out like Kurt Cobain on the business end of a shotgun. The brother committed suicide by an overdose. So, but this stuff destroys lives. And again, this is kind of why I'm fighting so hard on Indy's case, because this does not end well, okay? And Alfred Kinsey, also another one, he had kids molested as part of experiments and documented their orgasms. Just sick people, okay? And this is what they're defending. That's really appalling on that one. But back to the thing here. So, that magic day happens about 6 months ago, where Indy comes out and says, I'm trans. But again, there's also, like the last little short video where it's like she says the quiet part out loud. I wish I was a guy. It's like, means you're not. Okay? But it's like, affirming a delusion only gets you more delusion. Okay? Someone's got to stand up in the back and say, Emperor has no clothes. You people are fucking nuts. Okay? And that's part of what I'm doing. It's like, again, Indy has been through this kind of thing before. It's a bizarre twist on it. But again, she's been groomed a couple times before. Ended up getting hurt rather badly. But come out the other end and hopefully learn something out of it. So my big urge is my mantra is don't do anything stupid and irreversible. Because it comes out the other end, it's like you're gonna, you need something to, And it's like chopping off perfectly healthy body parts for a personality issue is never good. It never ends well. Now, originally stated, when she can't, there are no plans to go on testosterone because she didn't want to screw up her voice or her features. The only regret, she wished she could, put on more muscle mass. And then recently it came out that she is on low levels of testosterone. It's gel or cream, and again, it is very low dosage. So they're not gonna have the voice changes and stuff. The squaring of the jaw, and it will. They can help her. It's too damn soon. So all the same. Oh yeah, it's really showing up bullshit. Okay, that is all her. Okay, that is not. You got to be on that shit for a few weeks to really make it. Or at least a week or so to make that really work. That's just you're feeling the energy boost and getting back in the fucking gym, okay? Because I tell you, testosterone is a hell of a drug, okay? It's a major stimulant. It boosts your. Oh yeah, you think you can take on the world? Like I said, last time, you're ready to charge, the gates of hell with a wet sponge and a squirt gun, okay? But it also, again, heightens. Part of it is aggression. As short a temper as she has, sooner or later, there's going to be an explosion. And it's a question of, okay, what piece of equipment gets destroyed when it doesn't want to work right? What pan goes flying across the kitchen, and what does it hit? How terrified are those dogs going to be for a while when mommy suddenly freaks out on them and starts throwing things at them? And it's not just shut up, so swift kick and the puppels go flying through the door, That's one thing that scares me, is what those poor dogs are going to, going through if she blows up at the wrong time. But yeah, it's just trying to keep Indy from hurting herself before something and doing something really stupid and irreversible before she finally figures out this was the wrong path. I'm not trying to rescue her from her decadent life of porn. What kind of hypocrite would I be if I did? That's how I found her in the first damn place, okay? How a lot of people found her was through a Pornhub. That we're not trying to we're trying to get you to save yourself, Indy. Because, again, we got the people are really driving this. Gene is the real driver here. The rest of them are certainly enablers. And they're getting a charge out of it watching all this stuff, and they're setting things up that, things could get very ugly very quickly, apparently. But Gene's the one really pushing, you'll be so hot when you chop your tits off, you monster. How dare you even utter those words online? God. And again, as far as like claiming all the, Lester's doing it all. It's all him. I have been online for longer than a lot of you morons have been alive. I know I've been on longer than Indy's been alive. Okay, I started back in the early mid 90s when AOL still meant America Online. I was on CompuServe. I was on Prodigy for a bit. When dial-up speeds of 28.8 kilobytes was fast. When charged by the hour, it wasn't just it's like. So I know a thing or two about reading posts and telling differences in who posted what. I have only come across one person in all that time who posted exactly like me, and that was John Byrne when he was on AOL. Other than that, everyone's got their own little style. It is a lot like fingerprints. And if you're hanging your hat on, well, there's an extra space. That's it. That is a glitch in the phone apps, okay? I asked him about no, you constantly deleting extra space. It just sticks in extra spaces. Apparently on Twitter and also apparently Tumblr, a lot of people are doing this on their phones now. And these things, I'm just sticking in extra spaces. Contrast that with Lester. He doesn't do any punctuation. He just speaks to text. It's the phone trying to interpret things. And again, if the phone's doing it, it's sticking in extra spaces here and there. Making rather odd word choices based on his accent. Okay? He does not have that firm a grip on the English language. He's working on it. That's why he does the speak to practice his English. But it's also why, if you ever got a DM from him, some of them are like, novels. Okay? Because he's just talking. So yeah, these people, it's all the same. They type the same way. Bullshit. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You think they write the same. I can go that. No, that's not there. That's not there. This one, doesn't capitalize that one, and this one, you're an idiot. You think you figured out what it is. You don't know shit. Okay. You can dig up an archive for the old AOL message boards. I'll show you some shit back then. Okay? But that's pretty much where we're at here. I mean, and a new player in here named Kukuri was doing a manga trying to make sense of all this. But unfortunately, they kind of got to him, and now he's part of the Lester's behind it all thing. He's been, I will not divulge what, but he's been through some serious personal shit. I talked to his brother, which made him a little hypersensitive to some of it. So the concept that anybody could actually enjoy porn without being a total pervert, that's foreign to him. So it just throws him. How can you do it? What? It's the stuff she's currently into or having problems with, but other stuff, no. Because I picked one of my favorite variant cover I was doing for these things. It's from a video that it's actually a little on the cringe side, because it's one of these stepbrother makes stepsister do some weird stuff. But the photo shoot, the photo sets of it was like it's the one with the Halo helmet is they're prominent, but she's basically buck naked, but she's leaning on the helmet and giving you that look right at the camera, that old fire in the eye, that kind of thing, looking at you like she's known you since the third grade. It's like, come on, okay, yeah. I have a question here. Coming in here at me asking, why did Lester get blocked by Indy? You get framed for trying to get her committed. I was blocked for being you/Lester. Not sure about Lester. Okay, yeah. Why did Lester get blocked? That is a bit of a mystery. I think just the sin of trying to stand up and saying something. Oh God, yeah, it was friends with Gazer. Okay, that was part of it right there. And then I'm trying to get Indy to, hey, come on, we're trying to import some very important information to you that you are at risk from these idiots, or they didn't know who at that point. They knew it was somebody who's trying to set her up to get raped. And unfortunately, they shared the information they had with the person who's apparently trying to set her up for being raped. Okay, and that started that whole ball rolling. And that's when they finally reached out, because I was still throwing stuff over the thing, just trying to reestablish communication. Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm still wanting some answers myself here. And again, if I, a clearer picture is relevant here. But so it's a matter of, what do you want to believe? That me and a couple other are masterminding this entire strange scheme? Or is she surrounded herself with a few little perverts who are, again, grooming her anew and driving away all the fans, apparently, somewhat successfully, by, their own bunch of sock puppet, burner accounts popping up trying to muddy the waters while they sit back and laugh at it all. Because I've got a little conspiracy about 4 guys and a whole bunch of enablers. Oh, they're fine. If he was a pedo, we'd drive him out. Look at what he's pushing for. I don't need to see, a transcript of a secret Discord chat. Just look at what he's pushing. He fills up that spank bank faster than anybody. And he's one pushing for, copping her tits off and calling how manly she is and how much of a good boy she is. He's a pedo, okay? It's obvious. For God's sakes, does he have to just stand up and wave his dick in front of a 14-year-old before you finally figure it out? And again, no, he's different. No, he's not different. In fact, at this point, as old as he is, he is worse. You could blame the previous one. Well, this guy was only 18. He's a horny teenager. Of course he's going. No, Jane's a grown adult. He should fucking know better. Mistron is married with a kid. He didn't work about his own marriage, and not perving over some porn star. They're all a bunch of despicable lowlifes, as far as I'm concerned. Need to get rid of all of them. Okay, they are feeding your mind with a bunch of shit. Indy, come on. Call me a star. What have I been advising from the very beginning? Caution. Slow the fuck down. This is going way too fucking fast, and the fact that, like the one psychologist pointed out, the fact that you're doing it in public, making a big old reality show, is the absolute worst way to approach it. Because you're going to get public input from both sides. And they're doing it for their own sick reasons. They do not care about you. They care about their pet porn star and what they can turn you into. I'm trying to get you to reclaim your life for yourself. So, that's pretty much where we're at here. I'm trying to stick by the old adage that if you're really catching the flack, it means you're over the target. And things have been going nuts on that. So, every time I do a video like this or a live stream, they go ballistic over there. Oh my God! Which tells me, eventually she is seeing this stuff and it probably having an impact in some sort. At least I'm planting seeds. They may blow it off and laugh her ass off through the marijuana smoke in the moment, but I guarantee you this stuff is getting in there and. It's gonna be in their subconscious. It's gonna plant, and one day she's gonna, one night she's gonna wake up screaming, realizing that I'm fucking right. Yeah. That's a large part of it. I am not concerned about trying to get Indy to fall in love and being. No, I'm just trying to keep her from getting hurt. Okay. We can get her through this. I'll worry about being buddy later on. Right now, I'm just trying to keep her fucking alive, and intact. And look what got a bit of stream for. Yes, Gene did briefly. Oh, you were talking shit about me. Yeah. Block. I have no interest in hearing anything that asshole has to say. I'm not believe a word he said. He said water was wet. I have to confirm that myself. As far as I'm concerned, that is not up for debate. Okay. He is showing all kinds of proclivities towards into kiddie porn, pedo behavior. I don't want to hear it. My message to Gene is very simple. Go away, leave Indy alone, take your idiot friends with you. You've done enough damage. So, we're at about half an hour here. I'm going to go and wrap it up here. So, if for some strange reason you like this type of, this type of content, or if you want to, help support and help me get off of this line so I can get back to doing the commentary on the pop culture and the Star Trek and the, Doctor. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. New Lower Decks coming out tomorrow, so hopefully we can get back on that keel. And maybe a few things about other things going on in the various genre-related, but I'm devoting a lot of time on this because this is serious. This is someone's life in the balance here. And this is this channel is about things that mean something, or something that interests and is important to me. Be that Star Trek, Doctor Who, or indie. The brother's trying to push along. Oh, he's just jealous. I don't give a fuck about Gene or his money. He can go take his money and shove it up his ass. I'm worried about indie as a person. Because we've seen the behavioral shifts. We've seen this, seen her go downhill on this thing. She's, again, she's pushing 30 here. Okay, she just turned 28. 30's within eye shot here. Within view. How long do you think this twink thing is gonna hold up? It ain't. She'll be a good-looking woman for a long time, but the boy thing is not going to last after a while. And then what happens then? When suddenly she's no longer the match to your old twink ex, Gene. Are you going to toss her aside and go for someone else? Trade her in for a new model? How about you do that now? Leave Indy alone. That's our big mouth. Leave me alone. Yeah, leave her alone. You are not helping things. You are making it worse. Unfortunately, I think it's by design. Trying to cut her off from her fan base, cut her off from her other income streams, where you are her sole support. But I think you're also going to find out you're not that much of her support, okay? She, I've seen a few estimates of her net worth. They're probably a little exaggerated, but not by much, I bet. So you're going to try and replace that? I don't think you're making the kind of money she was making. So if you're ready to bankrupt yourself to keep her in the lifestyle to which she's become accustomed, have you really taken into account how much you're biting off here, Sparky? No. Yeah, even his fat ass. And this is an actor. Yeah, well, usually when you pick an avatar of an actual person, anime thing bullshit. I put up Wolverine. But you put up your avatar as an actual person, usually that means you're kind of identifying with him in some way. And the guy he picked as his avatar is a very large, rotund actor with a big full beard, which kind of tells me that's probably close to what Gene looks like. Maybe not as good. Maybe double the size. And again, I bet you it's the case if we haven't seen his dick since the mid-'80s. Okay. So, all right, we're right at about half an hour. So, again, you want to try and support this channel a bit? Maybe help me get off this, crazy train. Like, share, support, and we'll talk at you later.
There is a little street where all the neighbors meet. Some are quite nice, but some are bastards. Up north it's always bloody raining. Next door just never stops complaining. Life's black and white and everything is shite.